Hello and welcome to this very special edition of the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans podcast. It's a midweek one. We're keeping you up late on a work night. And I thought it was going to be for good reason. But sadly, we've gone down 1-0 to City. And it was a proper game of two halves. But we're just on here tonight just to talk about the game. So I'm going to bring them in. We've got Matty Kerr and Kevin Dennis joining me again. How we doing, boys?
How you doing, mate? Not too bad, not too bad.
All good, all good. Thanks for the full name, mate. Full name enough. It looks like he's froze. What's that? What's happened to him?
Oh, am I gone? What happened now?
There you go. You're back. You're back. You're back.
What's going on? Yeah, Eden's been in this room playing around on my computer, so I don't know what's happening with the old connections. Anyway, it's a quick one tonight because we're just going to dissect the game that's just happened. And Kev, I'll start with you today, mate. It was a proper game of two halves, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we started slow in the first half. Really, really passive, very nervous. Not playing quick enough, taking too many touches on the football. Just allowing them to squeeze the life out of us, really, when we had possession. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about the second half, but yeah, it really took us maybe a rollicking half time, maybe to get them going. But there was a few out there in the first half that just looked a bit, bit nervous, bit shaky, and sort of rabbit in the headlights in a lot of moments in the game. But better second half. But yeah, first half for me was pretty tough to watch.
Yeah, it was a tough one. What's going on now? Getting feedback. Yeah, apparently we're not as well prepared as normal tonight either. I don't know what's going on there with the noises. Yeah, I agree with you. I kind of thought, for me, it all started with the lineup. I mean, Matty, I don't know what you thought, but when I saw that lineup, I just kind of, in my head, I was like, he's got to be trying to rest players for next week, even though it's a week away. But it just didn't seem like from that starting lineup that he was going with his strongest 11.
No, you're right. I put a voice note in the group chat, didn't I? I think I thought we was going to lose 4-0, mate, when I see that lineup and that. When I see Haaland getting matched against Gray. But again, do you know what? Gray just proves me wrong every time. Every time he plays in that centre-back role, he just gets better and better. I don't think you see Archie Gray being a midfielder going forward. I always think now, going forward, I think Andrew will use him as a centre-back. Like even in next season, I think he'll play him in both roles, but mainly as a centre-back. But look, going back to the lineup, I think 100% right. The players that are just returned back from injury all started, apart from like Werner. And then the players that have played a lot of minutes over the last couple of months all was on the bench. So it's kind of like he wanted to give both parties, do you know what I mean? All the players coming back from injury and all the players that... what am I going on about? Basically, all the players came back from injury. All like he wanted to give them more minutes, Yeah. Like it is all set for the AZ game next week, mate. That's what it is. But it's surprising because we ain't got a game the weekend. I don't know why we had to make so many changes. I don't.
Yeah, I struggled with it. Like that first half, I felt like Udogie was off it. I felt like he was caught out of position. He was caught too far up the pitch throughout the whole of the first half. I thought he was probably the main reason we got where the goal came from. I thought Doku was running riot down the wing against Porro. I thought he just every time it seemed to go out to their left, I just felt like that it was going to come across our 6-yard line.
First half.
Yeah, first half. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then it's I don't know. I just felt like there was. It almost felt like the team probably didn't know who was going to get selected. I don't know. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Like it just felt like they were all kind of just said, "All right, you're going to go in and play there today." And oh, by the way, you've got him on the other side of your. And you didn't know who they could have started, which is mad to me because like obviously I know we had a quick turnaround from the weekend, but like you say, we've got a week off now, and I still think there's a real chance of getting into the top 10. Well, I did before this game. I think we're now 9 points off the top 10. But
game in hand, though. Game in hand.
No, I don't think we have, mate.
Over Villa. Over Villa. They're 10th. We've got a game in hand over Villa.
Over Villa, yeah. But then, we've got a few decent teams coming up. And it's... I don't know. I think it's a tough ask now to get into the top 10. But yeah, listen, I personally think the league is kind of secondary now, and it has been for some time. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt like that lineup for me was questionable, given the fact that we had a weekend off, and it's more than a weekend, right? It's more than a week. Sorry.
No, TJ, I can understand a couple of them. I mean, like we were talking only the other day about Kulusevski. Looks really tired. I mean, Son looks really tired. I think it was just about who we brought in to maybe give him a rest. I mean, Odobert for me, he's hardly played any football. I mean, to chuck him in against Man City was risky. I mean, don't get me wrong, I thought he looked quite lively, but I mean, I probably would have gone the other way and maybe started the players that looked a bit jaded and maybe bring on your Odoberts at certain moments of the second half when if things weren't going right. I don't know, maybe to start with a lesser squad might not have been the right thing to do. But then I did look at the squad in the first half and looked at the bench and I thought, if we can go ahead in the game going into second half, or we can hold it at 0-0, there's some great players to bring on from that bench with Kulu, Son, and everyone else. So, I mean, for the chances they had, City, in the first half, we should have been 3 or 4 down, really. But we held it, and I thought maybe if we can just even leave it at 1-0, if we can get into that second half and maybe make them subs earlier, then I thought we might have had a better chance. But to be honest, I thought we started the second half well with the same team. I thought we needed probably the half-time chat. I mean, I don't think the crowd helped. I mean, that first half, the atmosphere was fucking dead. Listen, we know how many tickets were flying about tonight and how many empty seats there probably were, or even people that took the seats of people might not have been your everyday diehard. But I thought that atmosphere tonight was pretty shit. And it only in moments in that second half, it started to liven up. And I don't know. I just think that might have been a bit of a contributing factor as well. But I think we can see by the second half subs
Why do you think it was, Kev? Why do you think so many people didn't fancy this game? Like, I mean, I've got my own theories, but there was rumours that there were like 3,000 tickets on the exchange up until last.
Yeah, we spoke in the chat.
One of them was yours as well, T.
No, I don't sell mine on the exchange, mate. I don't do that.
I can only think that for me, a Wednesday night isn't ideal. I also think people have put them on the exchange ages ago, thinking they didn't want to go anyway. Then realised they couldn't sell them, and then realised that they couldn't go because they've already decided not to go whenever. Haven't sold them, and then have let their seats go. I mean, I know a few pals that messaged me and went, "Kev, you can have my ticket for free tonight if you want." I mean, that's where people got. And I just don't think people could be bothered to go down there tonight. Might have something to do with the league of the way the thing's going, but I think you can really tell from the atmosphere tonight that your normal boys and girls weren't in there, and that maybe let us down a bit. But listen, I think we should take pride of the second half because really, all right, they missed a few chances, but really, I thought it was kind of a bit of a 0-0 game. I thought we didn't create that many chances in the second half, but we had a lot of the ball, and we sort of pinned them back. I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, like you said, T, it's a game of 2 halves, but yeah, I'm just a bit frustrated with it all tonight. I mean, I'm not really disappointed. I'm just a tiny bit frustrated that we didn't get anything out of it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I kind of echo how you feel. Like I feel like we've kind of got to the point now, like I said earlier, like where the league has become the secondary part of the season, right? It's like normally that's your bread and butter, but for us, the Europa League is what it's all about, and we've got hopefully 7 games, and we pick up a trophy in that. Whereas the league, we're in my opinion, we're far enough off the bottom. We're on 33 points. I think we're 16, 17 points clear of the team in the relegation zone. The league is kind of we're not gonna get into the top 7.
Yeah, but we do have big enough squad when everyone comes back to still be competitive in the league. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we've got a minimal amount of numbers now, and we've got to really rest everyone and play kids in the league to keep everyone wrapped up for the thing. We've got big players back now. I mean, I still don't give up on the league.
It's only 33 points to play for now, Kev, though, mate. It's only like 11 league games left in there.
Exactly, and it's listen. I'm not saying turn up to games and don't give a fuck, but there has to be some like protection of players that you're going to want to play in the Europa League as well.
100%.
And that's kind of my thing, is like you've got these players who've come back and they're, you know, probably not fully match fit, and you're chucking them in games like City, which is going to be high intensity, and then if one of them picks up an injury and they can't make AZ next week, and then you're back to square one, and we've got fuck all players. But yeah, listen, but at the same time,
what players are you talking about? Like out of that squad there, what players are you talking about protecting out of that lot today?
What in both halves?
Yeah, like what players today do you think need wrapping up in cotton wool for Alkmaar?
Spence. I don't know if I would have brought him on, if I'm being totally honest, knowing that the way we played in the first half.
Yeah, but we're trying to salvage something out of the game. I thought Spence changed it when he come on. You know, he's a lot better.
He did. But you're asking me which players I think need protection. Spence is one of them. Archie Gray at the moment, we've got 0 defenders. Danso, if he picks up a knock, it's a problem. I think there's loads of players out there.
Yeah, but we've got players coming back. We've got players coming back in their positions, haven't we, as well?
Hopefully, but then might not be there next week. You know, we don't know. And then again, every time Romero and Van de Ven have come back, they've picked up knocks again, and they've gone out again.
You say these players are coming back, Kev, yeah? Mate, Sky Sports announced in January that Romero was back training. No one saw him until last week against Man United. Like, where's he been? Apparently he was back training. Van de Ven, he was training 2 weeks before Elfsberg.
Yeah, but he's had a few relapses, Van de Ven. So I think that one you do need to wrap up in cotton wool, because he's only one sprint away from tearing a fucking hamstring. So I mean, it's like, I understand certain players, but I still think you need to be competitive in games and try and win football matches, even for the paying supporter as well. And I think it does things for the morale going into Europa League games. If you're winning league games as well, it's a confidence buzz. You can't go and get dicked at home 5-0 to someone and go to Alkmaar away. I mean, surely it must dent your confidence. There's got to be a flow of consistency and high performance in going throughout the squad and in training. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just not, at this point now, I'm not interested in giving up on the league, even just for morale purposes. I think there comes a point.
What are you playing for in the league?
No, I just think it player pride. I think for supporters that go and pay fucking hard money, I still think, and I think the squad's good enough at the moment where everyone back to juggle it. For me, it's just too early to write the league off in terms of getting points and getting up the table wherever we finish.
Kev,
I don't know. It's just too early for me.
Kev, we play AZ next week, yeah, and then what? The Bournemouth game, is it the Sunday? Imagine he goes out there and plays Spence, like let's say Bentancur, Sonny. They get injured. Come the AZ game, you're going to be like, why the hell has he risked Spence in that game? It's a pointless game against Bournemouth.
Spence, I'll give you Spence, but anyone else, Bentancur and Son, all that. I mean, for me, they're a toss up. I mean, they're not important first team players that go on the starting lineup at Alkmaar for me.
I think Bentancur has gradually made that position his own now.
You said you was going to fucking bin him off last week, him and Simon Basumi. You'd fucking get rid of him.
No, look, mate.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Matt. You said that.
Order.
Just because he's had, I'll tell you what he did. He did have a decent game against Ipswich as well. But Bentancur ain't done enough recently to warrant me and go, he starts against Alkmaar. No way. Not yet. No way. My only people that we need to wrap up in cotton wool at the moment are Archie Gray, Jed Spence. I think Bergvall, again today, was good. And we forgot to mention him against Ipswich, by the way, because I thought he was man of the match against Ipswich. I thought he was fucking brilliant. There are certain players, but there is a lot of that squad still that you can just sort of toss and turn and go, I still don't know who my best player is in this position. Certain positions, I'd say. I was talking about Brennan Johnson today. I thought he was fucking shit again.
It's always shit.
He's always shit. This is why I mentioned him on the last pod on Sunday, and it's because if you look at him statistically, he's brilliant. But you look at what else he contributes in the game, and I find it hard to find. But he does pop up with the goals. So you can't teach. It's hard.
His work rate of getting back is. I watched Gavardio come out of that left back spot today, run into the middle or run down the flank, and that cunt did not want to know to get back. He doesn't want to aggressively press. He doesn't want to cross. He done one cross towards the end. Doesn't want to beat anyone. I don't know what he brings to that team apart from chipping in the odd goal here and there, but. As an all-round player, I just don't know what he brings. I mean,
yeah, I kind of agree with you, mate. I'm not really. I like Johnson because I feel like he has potential, and he does pop up with the goals when we need them. Like he always seems
their goal back. Watch their goal back and you would have seen Johnson jogging back, and he could have got back quicker to help Porro.
And do you know what the thing is, Matt,
would have been blocked.
It is literally a fucking jog.
Mm.
I mean, it's fucking. His arms all up by his hips like this. He runs like a fucking idiot as well. When he, I'm just, mate, he really fucked me off tonight. And I just thought he brought nothing to the game whatsoever, apart from that cross at the end. Just brought nothing. I can't believe he didn't get fucking hooked tonight. Unbelievable.
Right.
I mean, like,
well, honestly, listen, like we say, listen, like we said about the league, right? And the fact, I don't disagree with you, Kev, by the way. I don't think we should sit there and go to the league and go, you know what, that's it, it's done. But I do think priorities need to be adjusted. And I think that's why you're seeing, in my opinion, I think that's why you're seeing fans not interested that much at the moment, I think, in the league games. I think that's why you're seeing...
I think you'll see that a lot more. So you'll see what today, the fans today, you'll see that a lot more in the last remaining league games this season.
I think when the weather comes out, I think people will want to be down the Spurs again, having a beer in the pubs in the sun and that. I think there's a little thing now about it being March, like just comes the end of February. Like I say, the game. I personally thought it's the last big game at home. Like we ain't got no more big names, big hitters coming down the lane. Obviously, teams above us, but fucking everyone's above us at the moment. Like it's tough. But anyway, listen. So first half goes the way it goes, and then fucking I don't know what happened. They must have all took fucking rocket fuel when they went in there, and they come out, and the game kind of flips on its head. And I feel like from being under the cosh and being lucky to go in 1-0, I look at the end of that game thinking we're a little bit unlucky not to get something out of it in the end. Matty, I don't know about you, but I kind of thought there were a few chances, especially near the end, where players could have put one away, and we might have got a draw out of that from a really shit first half performance.
Do you know what? Apart from the sunny chance, brilliant save by Edison, the chances just fell to the wrong players. Like Papa Sarr had 2 brilliant chances, just fell to the wrong players.
That one at the end. How does he not get on target? I can't work out how it doesn't get on target.
We were brilliant second half. Like even Porro, he was tighter to Doku. He didn't allow Doku to turn and run at him. It was much tighter. Hus mentioned on Instagram, Hussein Sally mentioned on Instagram, Johnson, Danso, and who was the other one? Had 3 good headers from corners. When was the last time you see us dominant on set pieces? Like against Man City, we won a lot of headers from set pieces today.
I'll say something, Matt, on that. Just while you're on that point, I actually think that's one of the biggest changes we've had under Ange. Is I actually feel we're a lot more threatening from set pieces. I remember when we couldn't fucking put a corner in the box when Christian Eriksen was there, and I feel like now, we're actually quite dangerous on set pieces.
Yeah, I couldn't work out why Madders was taking them corners with Sonny on the pitch. I mean, there's one thing I'll give Son. He can half whip a ball in when he wants to, and he puts it right on the money as well. Talking about Maddison, I think we should all give him a fucking shout tonight because I thought he was fucking brilliant. And not so much... I mean, he got on the ball quite a lot and he did try and make things happen, but that boy was up for it from the fucking minute one. Some of the tackles he put in, I mean, him and Bergvall, I thought could probably hold themselves a bit proud tonight and know that I thought they'd give their all, actually. And I was quite impressed with Maddison. But yeah, I mean, I think we were a bit unlucky in the second half and just fell a bit short. I think the last 10 minutes of the second half, I thought they sort of, what's the word? They sort of killed the game in a lot of ways. City, went down a few times and fucking stayed on the floor, took it into the corners and kept it. I mean, they didn't want to go at us. And I think Pep knew that if they did try to go at us more in that second half, I think there'd have been a good chance that we would have equalised. So you don't see City normally doing that. So that's one positive I think we can take from it. But yeah, I know people would just say a bit too many changes, I think, but I understand why the changes were made to a point.
Yeah, and I think. Mate,
here's a question. Freddie Cornell on Instagram. He said, Spencer's barely played. Why did we start him sub? And my opinion on that is resting for the Europa League, but also he's gone through probably 2 years hardly playing any football, and he's come in and played about 12 games straight. I think that geezer needs a rest. Like his body's not up to the what Sonny's been brilliant. Like he's not brilliant performance-wise, but he's been available to play, where I don't think Spence is actually as fit as what we actually think he might be right now, You know
what it is, Matt? I think what people will say is that when you're playing against City and you're playing against Doku and Savinho, really, I think you need your best fullbacks playing. And I know he might be tired and this, that, and the other, but I mean, in certain areas against Man City, they're dangerous in certain positions, right? And especially out wide. Like, I mean, like I was talking about Doku the other night against Arnold. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to have seen him up against Spence tonight if Spence would have gone right back, which I thought he might have done. But yeah, I just thought certain areas, City were dangerous tonight in wide areas, and I thought we might have been a bit better. I mean, like you said, Porro the first half wasn't good enough, I don't think, up against Doku. And I mean, Doku got man of the match. That sort of says where the danger areas were for City were. I don't know. I think Spence might have been one I probably would have kept in tonight. Kulu, I can understand. Son, I can understand. But yeah, Spence, I just think we was missing Spence in that first half. And when he come on second half, he just brought some energy and things to it. Not saying he would have been like that from the start, but I mean, from what we've seen of Spence, I think he would have started the game pretty well. But who knows? But yeah, some changes I can understand.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's I'm a firm advocate of playing your best team to get the result and then take them off, as opposed to bring them on to try and find the result. I've never really understood that method that managers employ. But listen, it's a loss at home. It's the first one we've lost in 4 games actually in the Prem, and it's against a team that I normally fancy us against as well, even though no one else really does. But like we said, we've got a full week off now, boys. So we don't come back till Thursday, which means that we're gonna have to find something else to talk about in our group chat for a little while. But listen, it's like I say, it's a loss. We're gonna have to swallow that one. But I think there are bigger fish to fry, and they are in the Europa League. So for myself, Matty Kerr, and Kev Dennis, we have been a very short and brief Heart Now Here Spurs podcast. But if you do want to follow us, please get onto all your socials. And I just want to mention our sponsors before we close out as well. joinit.co.uk, who provide all your IT solution needs, and Hotspur Heritage. Get a look at that page. They produce some great stuff that's available to buy. So please check those guys out and follow us on all of our socials, your Instagrams, your TikToks, your X, and your Facebook, as well as all the streaming platforms. But like I say, a very short, very sweet, but sadly bitter, given the result, podcast from us here at Heart Now Here Spurs. See you soon.